All right, welcome back to the Rolex preview. We're doing racing through them, minute and a half a person, and our opinions and views. Although I think in this, as we start to get further along, we're going to get a little bit more loose and say more things that people might not be happy about is how I feel about it.
That will be Kyle saying that. I'm a very positive person, and I appreciate how hard everybody has worked to get to this point. So when Kyle rips you, or the show gets ripped, it's Kyle's fault.
That's right.
But we have number 11, Sara Kozumplik Murphy, Fly Me Courageous. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the horse, she bought it off of Debbie Foote, I believe, who was an amateur up in Tallahassee. It's not the best on the flat, but it is as fast on cross country as anything. And Sarah's incredibly fast on cross country. She doesn't leave a lot out there. She's got a lot of pressure on her because of the number of horses she has and the fact she has one incredibly good owner with Edie. And so she's going to have a lot to do with the horse. He is green, but I've never seen him really be affected by very much. So,
yeah, I mean, she's another one that it comes down to how she can minimize the mistakes in the dressage. I mean, he's a bit of a little bit of a hot thoroughbred, and if she can keep him calm, he should finish on whatever that dressage score is. And you never know with the weather going early. It looks like there might be a bit of rain in Kentucky. Crazier things have happened, but you wouldn't mind sitting on this horse on the second day anyway.
I would think that she'd be very happy to get a top 20 placing, but it would be probably a bit of a stretch to think that he's going to break the top 10.
I agree with that.
We've got Angela Grzywinski, now I messed the name up, and Novelle. Another one a little bit of a challenge on the flat. So the judges at this point are going to see a little bit of that. There are some good ones in here too, but there's some ones that are going to make the judges probably want to get up and go back and grab their coffee, and this one could do that.
Yeah, but Angela, she goes very fast with this mare. She's had some success with it. She's had the odd run out here and there, but I know Angela's excited. She's getting married.
Very excited.
And so I think it's a good weekend for her. I think she went around Kentucky last year, if I remember correctly.
Around last year, she had a couple of stops, but she finished it.
Yeah, and she'll learn from that, and you do have to get there and make the mistakes, and then you go back and make more mistakes. So, I think she's been going quite well on this horse this year, and see how she gets on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hard weekend to put it all together at this level for, just as the greenness is. Especially coming, everybody makes this journey out here for this one moment, and she's got one horse at this level, and that's always a lot harder because you don't get the multiple mileage during the weekend, and so you don't end up realizing what you can get away with, I think, and that's a big key to this. Number 14.
Mackenna Shea, LANDIOSO. Love the horse. I think it's a fantastic horse. He can be the winner in the dressage. He can be the winner of the whole thing. She's sort of young and up and coming, and maybe one of those kids that maybe had too much pressure put on them at the beginning because the horse was so fancy. I think she's kind of gone back to the West Coast, regrouped, and got her stuff together, and come back out with a sort of new attitude and a new perspective on life, and maybe hopefully a good weekend for her.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, when you've got one that's that bloody good on the flat, everybody's watching you all weekend, so you don't get to make your mistakes in silence. Everybody sees it. Everybody assumes you're choking. Sometimes it's just making mistakes, getting your stuff out of the way. And
he was pretty green too, I think.
Yeah.
So, and it's been her horse all the time.
Yeah, she's done a great job with them. And you know what? Sometimes it's better to have that one that nobody knows you're there, and then you jump around and you can feel like a hero sort of Saturday night. Maybe nobody else knows you did it, but at least you start to realize that you're to have that ownership. And she did have a lot of pressure put on her.
Kind of like us, like nobody ever puts any pressure on us. Like you can maybe see him on a show.
The thing is with her as well is that going back out west, there's a different vibe in the riders out there, and so it might just have helped her get back to where she is comfortable. Because I'm coming from out there and having hung out with the East Coast and the West Coast riders. The West Coast riders are just have a different mentality as far as their joy in it and the support staff and that sort of thing. So hopefully she finds her niche with it. Number 15, Colleen Rutledge in ESCOT 6. Probably the best jumping horse in the competition, or one of the best jumping horses in the competition, but it is a real challenge on the flat.
It's a beautiful little horse, and it seemingly looks like it can do it all, but it gets a little bit nuts, I don't know. But it definitely jumps, and it will make the time and it will finish on it. And again, another case of see how she gets on the dressage.
Yeah, I think that Colleen's expectations are probably that she's gonna go for being in the top 10, but I think that she also in her heart knows this horse is gonna struggle to be breaking into the top 20, 25 because of that dressage. But on the last day, that's the horse I want to sit on. It's like very few horses do I see and go, oh my God, I really want to sit on that. But I wouldn't want to sit it maybe on the flat, but good God, would it be fun to show jump that.
And look, if you can finish on your dressage score at Kentucky, you're in the top 15 usually. Unless you do a dressage test like I do, then you have no chance. But I think she'll have a good enough dressage if she can stay on that.
I think she'll be top 15.
I do.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Katherine Coleman. Now, this girl's at your farm this winter, is that right?
She is. She's actually American. She's from New Orleans, but she moved to England and started eventing, and so she's been in England for I don't know how many years, but a few years anyway. She's come back over, and she's been based at my place. Just a lovely girl, the sweetest, nicest person that you could ever have around, and the horse is a little unorthodox, but it's a very good cross-country horse, it's her first 4-star, so it will be a learning experience for her. But if all the stars line up, she could sort of be that top 15, I would think.
It struggles in the show jumping though, doesn't it? Historically.
Yeah, but I think she's got that under control. She's been getting some help from Karen, I believe, and I don't think it was because he couldn't jump. I think she was maybe just didn't really have a program that but I think she's on the right track. I know she's enjoyed her time in America. I gave her a lesson yesterday on another horse, and I think it's probably been good for her because there is more teaching in this country, and I think the lessons that she's gotten have helped her, and her and Karen seem to have got on well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because sometimes I think it takes another year to process the information that you've got and put it into play. But
that's for you.
You're
slower.
10 years.
Yeah.
And then we've got Ashley Johnson, absolutely wonderful girl and tactical maneuver. She hasn't had a very good spring. I'm sort of surprised that she actually kept the entry in at Rolex. Not because she doesn't belong there, but because she started to have a little bit of a confidence issue earlier this spring, and sometimes, I think that it's not always the best way to try and force that type of thing, but she's getting help from Clayton Fredericks at the moment, and if anybody can kind of get you believing that whatever problems you've had don't matter as far as your future performances, I think it's Clayton, and there's no reason she shouldn't be here. It's her first 4-star, I believe, so it'll be, which is sort of surprising because I thought she'd been there before, but I just keep seeing rookie, and I guess she's been around so long, I just assumed she'd been there.
You just called you old, Ashley. I think it's you do want to go to Kentucky feeling good, and if you're counting on any kind of luck to get you through, usually doesn't happen. But we all need a lot of luck, and but hopefully she's got everything that you said sorted, and she's working with Clayton. He's got her under control hopefully, and it's an exciting time to get your first 4-star. So I think it's a horse that's capable. I don't think it's the winner, but it's capable of doing it. And
if she has a completion, I think she's going to be as happy as any person at the show.
As she should be.
Yeah.
19, James Alliston with Parker. James has done an unbelievably good job with this horse. For me, it never looks like any fun. Its dressage is kind of so-so, but again, it finishes on that. It's gotten the dressage down now into the 50s, I think. And all credit to him for getting the results out of it that he has. again, I don't think this is the winner, but it's certainly a top 15 horse.
And I think the thing is with James is because he has such a relationship with Ed and he's so consistent in how he rides, they know each other so well, there's not going to be any oddness that happens, and because of that they're just going to keep paring away at the result. And I'm with you. I think that whatever it does, it'll finish on or close to his dressage score. And I think the other thing is that when it does that, it's going to move itself into a presence and into a good position. But again, I don't think it's going to break the top 10. Courtney Cooper and Who's a Star. Now, Courtney bred this horse, which I love. I love that part of it, because if you breed, you really have some sort of foolish dream. It's a little bit like planting a tree. If you want to see instant results, you plant a flower. If you believe in the future, you're going to plant the trees. And she planted a tree, and it is a really nice horse. And I've watched Courtney for years. I've known her forever. Her riding has really improved, and I've watched her have a couple of problems on this horse, just like she'll be on it, and then she'll have to stop. But the funny thing is, I think if she just believed in herself a little bit more, she actually would surprise herself with her result, because it's certainly capable on the flat. It's a good jumper, and when she's doing her normal job, it's not like you're waiting for the mistake to happen. I think she in her heart just feels like the mistake might happen, and then it just sneaks up on her, because she's riding incredibly well this year. I think she's going to probably be happy with the finish, but I think she should aim much higher and believe in herself a little bit more. That's my take on it.
I mean, it's very good in the dressage. It's very good in the dressage. Yeah, I mean, for me, if I'm being honest, I think it's had probably too many penalties, too many problems, and I think completion would be a great thing for her, and to build for the future. I think she's been smart. She's gone back and then tried to build it back up again, and I think that maybe a few long routes or whatever, but see the finish line now. At the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do.
Exactly.
But I think that I think she, again, like Mackenna, because it does such a good dressage test. She was third, I believe. I remember sitting in drug testing room with her at Jersey Fresh one year, and I think she was third there. Mm-hmm. And so the horse is certainly capable, but then he's had some trouble. So I think she's been smart. She's taken her time. She's gone back, and you got to give her credit for breeding it, perseverance, and doing the smart thing, and going up and coming back, going up and going back, and hopefully everything works out for her this weekend. She's certainly capable.
Yeah. Then we've got number 21.
Ellen Doughty-Hume, OBERON. I think this girl is a super nice girl. I love the horse, and I think she ran into problems when she'd done her own thing in Texas by herself forever, and then all of a sudden she had a great result at Fair Hill, and then it was like, well, you have to come here, you got to get these lessons, you got to do all this stuff. What happened? It all blew up. And, so you never know what makes somebody tick. And I think she's maybe gone back to what she was doing before, and
it's working.
It's working, and I love the horse. Great girl, and good luck to her, and I hope she has a great weekend, because she deserves it.
And she legitimately has the opportunity to really actually be a star here. And I think that anybody that's watched her could see that happening. Her dressage is good, her jumping is good. And I think the problem is just that, is she had success, and then all of a sudden everybody wants a piece, wants to give you the advice that's going to make you that little bit better. But you have to modify slowly. You cannot make big changes. If things are going terrible, big changes. But if you're doing well, you want to take some of it, assimilate it slowly into your program, and continue to get educated, because we never stop learning. But she did a little too much too drastically, and yeah, it definitely caught her out, and I think she's recovering from it, and hopefully she's managing that now. So now we got another Canadian, Holly Jackson, more inspiration. Holly's a great girl, probably the most positive girl, and like a lot of the Canadians, unlike me, happy.
Bring the level down.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to try and bring them and equalize and level them. Positive. I really like this horse. She's a great jumper. She has won at the jumper shows. She's a hard worker. I mean, she is a really hard worker. She deserves a really big break. I gotta think that this weekend isn't going to be the big break for her. I think that she most likely, because she had a really good result last year at Jersey, I think she's probably going to take the horse there, do the dressage, and then probably align to maybe do Jersey or Bromont again.
So are all the Canadians just going to get the T-shirt?
I don't know. I don't have any inside information. I just feel like she had. Well, she missed a couple of runs. You know, she got spun in the dressage at Carolina, and I think that you don't go into Rolex. You don't want to go in without knowing everything's lined up, and I think that she's probably going to realize that before she's there. She's coached well. John Holland coaches her, and I think his advice is probably going to be pretty sound. And my guess is it's going to be, you know, let's work towards the future goals, not to this moment, because sometimes when you try and force it, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and I was second year. I mean, I didn't know Holly until I went to Canada and did a clinic and rode the clinic, and what a positive, hardworking kid that. You know, if somebody could get behind that. That would be. I mean, she works, and you tell her to do something, and she can do it. And she clearly doesn't come from, you know, lots of money, and so she was soaking up every piece of information and trying to do what you said. I have a ton of time and a ton of respect for her, and I think if she got the right chance, she could be a star for Canada.
Well, here's the thing, is like a lot of the Canadians, there's not a lot of support there. There's a lot of expectations. Canada wants the success, and it's very, very much on the level of, you know, like, why are the Americans beating us? But someone like this, and there's 10, 12 of them out there that you can identify and say, you know what, if we should just pull in and get some owners behind them and get some horses underneath them. I'll tell you what, a lot of those Canadians are the best riders on substandard horses in the world, and I wonder if you could just get 5 good ones underneath them, what could happen, because I think there's a lot of that going there, and she's, I think, one of those people. But, you know, whether she can find that help, I don't know. It's a hard thing to find in Canada. It's not taken as seriously that way. Anyways, let's see you at the next episode.